All right. So I don't know how many of you guys are J. Cole fans, but if you are, you know he was supposed to have dropped his long anticipated album, The Fall Off, last week. He didn't do that. So we're just going to see what DJ Akademicks has to say in regard to that. And I'm going to sprinkle in some of my commentary.
Well, first of all, it's my job to tune in, but I'm only interested in hearing J. Cole explain why he's not a pussy. That's it. Because after what he did in that battle in that moment, if he comes with some shit like, yeah, I told you I was smart by just ducking Kendrick Lamar and apologizing, I'm going to be like, yo, this is some weak-ass, bitch-ass shit. If he comes out talking to, yeah, no, I backed out the battle, but I'm still the best rapper, I'm going to be like, yo, this is some weak-ass, bitch-ass nigga shit.
That's all facts. That is all facts. I don't think anybody wants to hear this dude come out talking like he's some sort of titan of the industry. Not after what you pulled, bro. Them days is done.
I don't know what angle he could really come with, but I'm gonna give him a chance.
I was talking to Luke. I was talking to my Dreamville people. This year, man, it's all about redemption. It's about letting niggas know what, like, seeing the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. I want you guys to focus on what this guy said. It's all about redemption. It's all about the bigger picture. I want you to specifically focus on the phraseology, the bigger picture. If you guys don't remember, back when J. Cole first really started blowing up, he first got on, the bigger picture was what him and a bunch of artists in his class, the XXL freshman class of like 2010, they were all kind of on that. Right. In case you guys don't remember, J. Cole is a part of the 2010 freshman class. I think the two other big names from that class were Wiz Khalifa and Big Sean. If you don't remember, Drake was actually supposed to be a part of that class as well, but he declined to be in that class because he had already dropped So Far Gone, and So Far Gone was a major success. And him and Nicki Minaj was like, yo, we don't need this, right? Drake and Nicki Minaj were on YMCMB, and YMCMB / Lil Wayne were beefing with Jay-Z at that time. J. Cole had already signed to Jay-Z with Rock Nation and all of that. So there was kind of sort of a thing. There was some tension there. But all of those rappers, Drake, J. Cole, Big Sean, eventually Kendrick Lamar, who was in the 2011 XXL freshman class, they all had this perspective when they rapped and when they did interviews that they were, just the kid from XYZ city trying to navigate life and get out of that city. They had bigger dreams. They had bigger vision, and they're trying to not get caught up in the things that essentially hold people back, right? Typical trope, good trope, nothing wrong with that. But that the whole bigger picture was what all of those guys kind of focused on, or that's the motif that they ran with. In conjunction with that, you have to remember, at around that time, you had people signing to certain labels. You had people signing to different labels. Like I said, J. Cole was with Jay-Z, with Rock Nation. Drake was with Lil Wayne in the YMCMB. Big Sean was with Kanye and Good Music, right? And Kendrick was not with anybody at that point. He was still with he was still kind of independent, and eventually he got with Interscope. That being what it is, you guys have to remember, when it comes to this bigger picture thing, Drake kind of was the first one to really start this whole beef. He was the one to really start this whole beef with the whole, I don't need to be on this freshman class type stuff. And if you remember back then, this was before the internet was what it was, people were trying to make a beef between Drake and a lot of other people because he said that. Right now, Drake was famous for, what was it, So Far Gone, I Just Want to Be Successful. He said, if you diss me, you'll never hear a reply for it. And people were trying to put him in beefs for a long time because he decided to not be in the freshman class, and he ducked out all of those beefs because of how wildly successful he was, because of how popular Lil Wayne was. Wayne was crushing the mixtape circuit. Drake was on the mixtape circuit crushing it. So nobody could really step to him, right? So when it comes to this whole bigger picture thing, it wasn't far off the mark. Everybody was kind of using that. Now, it's also important to note when it comes to the bigger picture, there was an internal hip hop beef. Soulja Boy had already been on for a couple of years at this point. There was the Atlanta takeover with the dance rap and the ringtone rap, right? So you had the Soulja Boy guys, and then you had the J. Cole type guys and the Kendricks and the Drakes, right? So people looked at Drake's draft class / J. Cole's draft class as a restoration of hip hop. So there was this underlying beef between the Soulja Boy types and the Drake / J. Cole / Big Sean more lyrical types. And then there was also a tension from up top with the Jay-Z's and the Nas's and the more established artists. So there was kind of like this sandwiching effect that was going on, and people were choosing sides, and there was a lot of beef that was brewing, not necessarily anything direct that was going on. Keep in mind, I'm not telling you that there was a direct thing causing beef. There was just the possibility, and there was just tension. And all of those artists at the time, they used the idea of, oh, I'm just this guy trying to rap my way out of the hood, whoop, 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 and I'm just keeping my eye on the bigger picture. So that's very important when we go forward and we start seeing the fraud that is J. Cole.
This album is appropriately titled The Fall Off, okay? J. Cole, to me, fell from grace once he showed us that everything... J. Cole is the example of how I look at Atlanta rappers. Just blowing a lot of hot air. They don't stand for shit. They sweep it under the rug, and they all claim they don't like snitches, but they love them. Like, I don't believe shit J. Cole says. J. Cole is a nigga that rapped to me. Like, in the last year, I gave him the credit. I said, man, this boy rapping like he's trying to rap out of poverty. Only to find out this nigga was just making words rhyme. He was telling me, he's like, now I'm feeling like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali of what? What the?
All right, stop it right there. This is very important because Drake, Jay-Z, all of these people are going to stand on business and say, I'm the best. Okay, no problems with that. J. Cole is no different. He says, I'm the Muhammad Ali. Ak is referring to a line that J. Cole dropped in First Person Shooter, the song with him and Drake, that pretty much kicked off the whole beef didn't kick it off, but it put it over the edge with him and Kendrick. He started saying, I feel like Muhammad Ali. Okay. I want to bring you guys back to around 2014. Keep in mind, the previous guy, the guy who you guys hear talking and he's not on camera, he's a guy from North Carolina. And he was the one talking about, 2026 is the year of the bigger picture, blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to remember something. What happened in 2013, 2014. If you remember Mr. Bigger Picture, right? That's J. Cole. J. Cole always said, I'm focusing on the bigger picture and I'm not getting into beef and whatnot and whoop, whoop, whoop. And he ducked a pseudo beef with Drake. There was a pseudo beef going on, if people don't remember. At that time, Drake was kind of picking on everybody in the rap game. He kind of had a back and forth with Kanye at the time, and that kind of started when the rapper Common was dating Serena Williams, and then they broke up, and so Drake immediately went out and got with her, and so that was kind of like him, taking a shot, kind of, sort of, like I said, none of this is solidified. It's just little petty stuff back and forth. Right. So that kind of got under Common skin, and that was a way for him to take a dig at, Kanye. It was a lot of small, petty stuff going on. But in 2013, 2014, Eminem drops the Marshall Mathers LP Part 2. He wins an award. Him and Macklemore, they win like some MTV awards and whatnot. And then J. Cole takes a direct shot and disses both of them on 2014 Forest Hill Drive, that album. The song was called Fire Squad. And he talks about how white rappers are winning awards and black rappers are not winning awards. Now, the reason I bring this up is because he said, I'm Mr. Bigger Picture. I don't diss people and I don't get into all these beefs, right? This is what he's saying throughout his records, and this is what he's saying in interviews. I'm not the guy that's going to get into beefs, but, my pen game is sharp just in case, whoop, whoop, whoop. This is the first time where we see J. Cole do some sucker stuff. He goes out and he disses Eminem, he disses Macklemore, and you don't hear anything about it. Why? Well, if you remember in 2013, 2014, who was it? Tamir Rice got shot. In 2012, it was Trayvon Martin. In 2013, 2014, it was Tamir Rice, the kid in Cleveland. He's playing with a BB gun at a park. Cops pull up, and within seconds, boom, 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 they put him down. He's gone. So there's a lot of racial unrest going on at this time. J. Cole decides to start speaking about it in his lyrics. If you remember, 2014, Forest Hill Drive, the same album, I think the song is called Neighbors. He says, "My neighbors think I'm selling dope." He talks about how the cops come to his house and, kick in the door and all of this and all of that because his neighbors think that he's selling dope because he's black and blah, blah, blah. He disses Eminem, and then Jay-Z tells Eminem to stand down because there's a bunch of racial unrest going on. It's some social stuff and whoop, whoop, whoop. So Eminem doesn't reply. This is the first time that J. Cole is feeling like he's untouchable because he knew that if he dissed Eminem, Eminem can't reply. Why? Because now you're going at black people for protecting black people. So that would make you anti-black. That would make you the white guy in the black space who's going against black people. Keep in mind, this is all conjecture from me. He's not on record as saying this. This is all conjecture. This is gossip. This is big news for the unemployed. So don't get in the comments talking, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." Shut up. The way I see it is he knew that he wasn't going to reply. He absolutely knew Eminem was not going to reply because of the optics. And I believe that maybe Eminem even got a phone call from Jay like, "Hey man, just stand down. Just let he's doing the backpack rapper thing." Right. So that for me was the first sucker move that he pulled. Now, the second sucker move that J. Cole pulled was when he started trying to sun all the drug rappers. Right. If you guys remember, what was it, 2017 to 2019, you had your Juice WRLDs coming out. You had your Little Pumps coming out. You had your XXS Tentaciones coming out. Your Kodak Black, actually Kodak came out like 2014. And he's trying to sun all these rappers and tell them how they need his mentorship and his guidance. And if you remember, he had the very infamous song, I want to say it was like 1985. It might have been like 1985 Fall Off or something like that on his album KOD. And the famous line was at the end of the song where he said, "In 5 years, you're going to be on Love and Hip Hop." Okay, so he's dissing the drug rappers. Once again, he's dissing people who can't really fire back. He know these people ain't got no lyrical prowess to get up with him. He knows that. He absolutely knows. But guess what? There were two people in that class who didn't care nothing about what he had to say. One was YB, the other was Kodak Black. Now, if you remember, there's technically a third rapper that was 21 Savage. He actually got to sit down with 21 Savage and have a mentorship talk with him. 21 Savage's people told him, "Hey, J. Cole is with Rock Nation. You need to go ahead and bend the knee because if you don't bend the knee, it's going to get ugly for you." By this point in time, 2017, 2018, 2019, J. Cole is established. Like he is the star of the Rock Nation stable. It's like him and Rihanna's, doing Fenty stuff. She's doing stuff with the makeup. So he's the star of that stable. So of course they're going to put everything behind him. So they're going to put all the label weight behind this guy. So if he's dissing you, you kind of got to take the knee. 21 Savage understood the assignment. He takes the knee. All the other people who don't take the knee, their careers fall off a cliff. Now you got people like Kodak. Kodak has a cult following. He's kind of like the ODB of our time. So he doesn't really fall off. But when J. Cole publicly criticizes him saying, "Hey man, he needs more guidance," Kodak comes back, he pushes back, and then it starts like this pseudo war between like the new old heads and the new up and coming kids, right? And it never really led to anything, but it kind of just solidified Kodak as, who he is. Like, yo, I'm my own person. I'm a Haitian kid from Florida. I'm not going with all your big bro stuff. I don't want your big bro energy. Kodak Black famously beat up Sticky Fingers from Onyx for trying to do the same thing. Okay. And also J. Cole tried to get on a song with YB. YB wants nothing to do with J. Cole. Like he does not want to go for this little bro, big bro dynamic. He don't want it. Keep in mind, J. Cole is the same one who had the song Middle Child, right? Where he raps, I'm in between two generations. I'm the greatest of these people and I'm the greatest coming up behind those people, right? So when it comes to this whole J. Cole being a fraud, J. Cole picks fights with people he knows he's going to beat, but he ducks smoke from people he can't beat. When he knows Jay-Z is going to tell Eminem, a legend, to stand down because, it's some racial stuff going on. He knew what he was doing. J. Cole knew 100% what he was doing when he took that shot. He knew Eminem couldn't fire back. He goes out there and he picks a fight with these mumble rappers because he knows they don't have the ammunition, the brain power, any of that, right? So he's stacking bodies from people he know can't fight back. He's picking on dead people, essentially. Let's keep going.
Fuck was he talking about? Like, this nigga just showed us everything he was saying about his confidence, his bravado, his attention to how he looked at music and rapping. It was cap.
Like, what if he come on this album dissing some niggas?
No, I won't tolerate that. If J. Cole disses anybody on this album, J. Cole's a bitch. We don't want J. Cole to diss nobody. J. Cole needs to rap about mental health or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, rap about some Dr. Umar shit. We don't want if J. Cole ever dissed another nigga in his life, bro, like I'm telling you, I might report his music to Spotify. Don't ever suggest me J. Cole music. J. Cole is banned from dissing. Banned. Nigga made a diss song and deleted and apologized. Ew. Nigga, even if I apologize in private, I'm not deleting the song. I'm gonna act like I'm standing on business in public. Bro, at least save your pride and be like, yo, yeah, I ain't gonna keep dissing because, you know what I mean? I don't think homie's on it like that, but like, at least stand on the one joint you put out.
All right. Here's the deal. I don't know if you guys remember, pretty much same time, 2013, 2014. Actually, I think it was 2014. Big Sean puts out a song called Control, and there's a verse on there from Kendrick, and Kendrick is going at absolutely everybody. For whatever reason, Kanye West allowed that verse to be put out. Keep in mind, Big Sean was signed to Good Music, so Kanye was like the guy bottom lining everything, him and the other execs. For whatever reason, they heard Kendrick Lamar dissing people, and he was the oh boy. He wasn't like over the top dissing, but he called people out by name on that track. So they let that track come out. And keep in mind, Kanye did come out and say signing J. Cole was one of the worst things he ever did. J. Cole, or signing Big Sean is one of the worst things he ever did. J. Cole didn't have much to say in regard to that. Nobody really had a whole lot to say in regard to that, but Big Sean came out and was kind of like, dang, it's like that. Like, he didn't want to go at Kanye 100 miles an hour, right? But Kanye did say signing him was one of the worst things he ever did. And then later on, Big Sean started questioning, was he being shelved this whole time for Kanye's ego, right? So there is this thought process that Kanye allowed Kendrick to diss his artist in order to tank his artist's stock, in order to put Big Sean in a place where he's a perpetual ghostwriter for Kanye. There's absolutely no proof to this. This is all just theory and conjecture. You can check all this on the internet. I'm not making the direct claim of this. I'm just saying this is what people were thinking retroactively, because people didn't know this was all going on at the time. So 2014 comes, the Control verse comes out. Kendrick is dissing everybody and their mom, like really just calling people out. And guess what? Remember when I said that J. Cole dissed Eminem, and then Eminem was told to stand down? And then he tried to sun all the young rappers, all the mumble mouth, marble mouth, lean rappers, and they couldn't really stand up to him. Now you got a lyrical titan, a lyrical assassin sitting there dissing you, calling you out by name, and you got nothing to say. You got nothing to say now. Now you want to double down with Drake, and you want to get in good with Drake. 2014 marked the start of the J. Cole fraud check, if you ask me. We saw what this guy did once Kendrick dropped that Control verse. He wanted no smoke. He went straight back to, bigger picture. I'm looking at the bigger picture. He glossed over all of that like it never happened. And he just went on and released 2014 Forest Hill Drive and KOD and all this other Deja Vu and For Your Eyes Only. He went and released all this sleepyhead music. He didn't want no smoke. That was the first time we saw him duck the smoke. And just like Kendrick saw, oh, Big Sean ain't built for this. He not really built for this. Dissed him on his own stuff. As soon as Kendrick saw J. Cole duck the smoke, he knew, oh, you my next victim. You're next. Now keep in mind, Kendrick hates Drake for a multitude of reasons. But if you remember, he said, keep Serena out of your mouth. This is why I mentioned that Drake dated Serena Williams, because Kendrick has been keeping this dude on his radar the whole time. The whole time he kept this dude on the radar, because he's hated him that much, and he had him marked for death a long time ago. So when it comes to this bigger picture that all these rappers talked about from way back then, the only person who really stood on this bigger picture was Kendrick. He saw Common and Serena dating in 07. From 07 to 2010, they dated. Then he saw what Drake did, and then he understood why Drake was doing that. He was doing that to take a shot at Common and to get under the skin of Kanye and all of that. So he saw, oh, Drake is essentially sneak dissing a black woman by dating her and sleeping with her and making songs about her and whoop, whoop, whoop. And he's doing that to get at black men, and you're not really part of the culture. So he's planning this stuff over a decade in advance. So when we start talking about J. Cole being a fraud for saying, oh, I'm all about the bigger picture, we see who's really about the bigger picture and who's really keeping that demon energy on the mic anyways. And it's Kendrick. And when he dissed all those people on the Controlverse, what did J. Cole do? He tucked his tail and he ran. Let's keep going.
Are we checking out the new J. Cole album? If he's talking crazy, he's saying he's Muhammad Ali. Lyrically, he's an assassin. If any nigga, he had a line about it.
Changed. Wait. Just because he apologized, that never changed his skill set. Like, come on now, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, but put it like this: rap battles is more than just being a wordsmith. There's some conviction to it. Like, we gotta believe the words you're saying, right?
And this is why I brought up the whole point with YB and Kodak, because nobody's going to say these guys are the best lyricists out there, but they stand on what they say. They talk this talk and they stand on it. They say, I don't want no, like Kodak is like, man, I don't care about none of you old heads. And he stands on that and he don't back down. And his fans love him for that. Boy is just straight ignorance personified, and he stands on it. It's just like this guy's about to say, when it comes to you portraying a particular image, bro, we got to really know that you about that life. Nobody wants to promote violence, but let's be realistic. There's a certain allure to listening to King Von's music or Dirk's music, knowing that these guys really put people in the ground. Keep in mind, I'm not glorifying this, but there is a certain allure, like, oh, snap, this person is really like that. They're not like Tupac and DMX, who just, were studio gangsters. Like, Tupac don't got no bodies. He never did no kind of dirt. DMX he wasn't about that life. He wasn't like it. He wasn't like that at all. He ain't never been locked up for pulling no trigger in nobody's direction or doing no crazy stuff. Once again, I'm not glorifying that. We're just saying, like, just like Axe said, people want to see you stand on what you say you all about. And that's not what J. Cole does. J. Cole talked about being a lyrical assassin. And when he got the opportunity to smoke somebody and catch a real body on the mic, he ducked. Eminem is not a real body because he wasn't allowed to fight you because of social politics. These marble mouth kids are not, you can't really claim them as somebody that you bodied in a diss track because we know they don't have the mental or lyrical capacity to get up with you. But Kendrick wanted to smoke. He wanted to smoke with Drake since 2010, 2011, whenever he dated Serena Williams, and he waited and he planned and he plotted and he schemed and he got it. And he smoked, bro. He wanted to smoke with you too. He called you out in 2014, but you ducked. This is what I'm talking about. The fraud check failed.
But
like Cole was never talking no tough guy.
No, it's not about being a tough guy. But when you show, like, so of course he wasn't talking as a tough guy, but he portrayed himself to be the guy who was calculated, but if he ever got into a battle, lyrically, he would completely annihilate and would be ruthless.
Facts. This is what I'm talking about. We saw Kendrick plot the demise of Drake for over a decade. We saw him do it. We thought J. Cole had that same dog inside of him. He don't. He don't have that animal inside him. He's not built to be ruthless like that.
The nigga dissed, and literally by the time he went to sleep and woke up, he was like, yo, this don't sit well on my conscience. What are you talking about? Like, yo, like this is not about violence. It's like they've accused LeBron of this. Like, yo, LeBron, you don't got that dog in you, nigga. Like, Kobe had it. Mike had it. Yo, you got a pup. You got a pup. You know what I mean? Yo, your daddy a killer. But you just like Bronny James. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yo, J. Cole is the Bronny James of rap. You feel what I'm saying? He's the Bronny guy.
Nah, he is. He really, really is. Because just like LeBron James is protecting Bronny from all kinds of scrutiny and being cut from teams, Jay-Z has protected J. Cole for so long because he's the crown jewel of that whole thing. I believe, keep in mind, this is all conjecture. I'm not saying I got the receipts and go read this article here. No, this is just how I'm seeing it retroactively. I was a huge J. Cole fan. I got all of the albums. I was a huge J. Cole fan until he pulled this move. Then I had to go back and do the research. This is why I'm saying, I know y'all gonna get in the comments talking about, man, you just yapping the yap. They give anybody a microphone these days. And I'm gonna say, go back and do the research and look at the stuff. Jay-Z protected this dude just like LeBron James protects Bronny.
He's the Bronny James of rap, bro. He's not a killer. He don't got that dog in him, bro. He don't got that dog in him. He a pup. He don't got that dog in him.
Niggas don't listen to it, Ax. You know why? Because niggas fuck with Gunna. If he come out with some shit that's banging, y'all gonna fuck with it.
Who?
Not even that, bro. All Cole gotta do is drop a freestyle and then let RDC make a video, bro, and then hit the album. It's gonna go stupid, I swear.
Yeah.
Tell me it ain't.
Yeah.
But what is he gonna freestyle about? Because he's always stood on, I'm the lyrical titan of the industry. I'm doing everybody in with my pen game. He said, I'm the GOAT with the golden pen. The top toucher. Not Russia, but apply pressure to your cranium. Cole's automatic when spraying up. We don't believe that no more. You got to come out and you got to talk about like black positivity and uplifting black women. And you got to come out and stand up with the Somalis or something like that, bro. Because we don't believe none of this I'm the GOAT talk no more. Like we can't. We saw you tuck tail. We saw it. And then when we go back and we look over the years, like, bro, you've been running this whole time. You've been trying to sun people this whole time. Everybody who can't stand up to you, you try to sun them. All the marble mouth kids, all the YBs and all the Kodaks and all the Lil Peeps and all of these slobbering on the rapper, slobbering on the microphone lean rappers. Yeah. Back then when we saw you take apart a whole generation of rappers, we were in awe. Like, man, this dude is really that guy. But when one of your peers comes, and keep in mind, you got to remember what Kendrick did to Big Sean. The same day that Kendrick dropped the diss to Drake, Big Sean had actually put out a single for his upcoming album, and he had to pull it down because it got no traction once Kendrick stepped on the mic. Kendrick, for whatever reason, has hated Big Sean from the start. I don't think it's an actual factual, I want to fight you, beat you up, beef, nothing like that. I think it's just he saw him as the weakest link between him and Kendrick, J. Cole and Drake. I think he just saw him as the weakest link. And then he clearly saw J. Cole as something similar. Like, you're really not like that. You're not about this life. I don't believe you. And he attacked. Big Sean had to pull his record down. J. Cole put out a diss and immediately deleted it. Drake tried to go back and forth and ended up getting smoked. I mean, he stood there. He stood there and actually went toe to toe. But, ultimately, you kind of got smoked. The fraud check failed once again.
But here's the thing. My point is not saying he can't drop something good. I said if he drop an album where he's sneak dissing and dissing niggas, I'm cutting it right off. Dissing is out of his repertoire. He needs to be vegan, okay? No more beef, vegan. We have sentenced him to 5 lifetimes of veganism. For that bitch ass shit you did. Bro, he's the first rapper to ever drop a diss song, and before the nigga responded, he apologized, took the song back, and deleted it, and then went on stage and said, ain't this nigga the best? He's dick riding the nigga who dissed him first.
What if he got that phone call?
Huh?
What if he got that phone call?
Man, we don't care what phone. Listen, that makes it.
And this is why I mentioned the whole thing with Eminem, because of the young lady here. She said, what if he got that phone call that say, take it down? Or what if he got that phone call that say, blah, blah, blah? Isn't that what happened with Eminem? Eminem got that phone call. Hey, let this one ride. But we know Eminem's body of work. No, everybody vouches for Eminem. But guess what? Eminem don't have no bodies either. Who's Eminem's body of work in terms of destroying people? If we're going to say, oh man, don't nobody want it with him. Who's his body of work? Ja Rule? Benzino? Cannabis? The dude from Everlast? The dude from Limp Bizkit? Come on, dog. You had, like, Eminem has no bodies. We've never seen him go up against anybody. Why? I'm not going to say that he can't body everybody, because when I look at his lyrics and I look at everybody else, I do believe he will body everybody. But I do believe Eminem got many phone calls. Stand down. Don't go at Method Man. Don't go at Redman. Don't go at Busta Rhymes. And they probably got similar phone calls. Hey, Eminem is the crown jewel of the rap game. He's off limits. I believe that too. I personally believe that Eminem in his prime would have smoked pretty much everybody, but we never really got to see that. So when we say, oh man, Eminem would have just crushed everybody, man, there's no way to really prove it. And his body of work in terms of who he bodied is pretty much a bunch of nobodies, right? It's a bunch of nobodies. But just like this lady said, J. Cole probably got that phone call, hey, stand down. This is why I tell you, Jay-Z has protected this guy the whole time, because everybody who didn't back down, they lost their career. Everybody who didn't back down to J. Cole when he was going at the lean rappers, they lost their career, other than Kodak Black, who has a cult-like following, and YB, who pretty much is a cult leader at this point with the way people worship him. So unless you were like this otherworldly entity who was able to take advantage of like internet popularity and internet fame and all of that kind of stuff, J. Cole was going to crush you. And if you didn't bend the knee, you was going to get that phone call. Okay, your career's over.
It's weak. I'm sorry. Listen, I guarantee, by the way, I don't think he's going to drop some whack shit. But if I hear him on that track talking crazy, like, yo, let me go back to the lyrics, because I think y'all forgot. Niggas so thirsty to put me in beef, dissecting my words, start looking too deep. I look at the tweets and start sucking my teeth. I'm going to let it rock because I love the mystique.
All right, that's the key right there. That's the whole key. People want to put me in beef, but I let it rock because I like the mystique. He has always had this mystique as this rapper who was cold, calculated, ruthless. He would take you apart, dismantle you, all of that. Keep in mind, I already talked about it, so I don't want to rehash it too much. But remember, back when all of these cats were on the freshman top 10 and all of that, people were trying to put him in a beef with Drake, because Drake said, I don't need the XXL freshman top 10, whatever, because I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. I don't need this. So all of a sudden, everybody wanted everybody else to go at Drake, right? You got to look at this stuff retroactively. Everybody was like, yo, you need to go at Drake. He said he's better. But then Drake came out. YMCMB was the biggest thing since Pants with Pockets. Nobody could really touch him, right? People tried to throw him in beef when Lil Wayne was beefing with Jay-Z. It was like Big Brother over here versus Big Brother over there. So people were like, okay, well, now Drake is taking shots at Jay-Z as well, but Drake is like little brother. He's the little brother to Lil Wayne, so to speak. So they was like, oh, well, you need, J. Cole, you need to take on the other little brother. So there was like this thing, like people were trying to put him in this beef. Even J. Cole himself said it, right? He said it on, I think he said it on another song. I think it was Middle Child. When he talked about people think that two rappers, like two goats, can't coexist. And he was talking about Drake, right? So he's always ducked that Drake smoke. People who can hold their own with this guy, he's always ducked the smoke, always. And he's always had people protecting him.
I want to get a song with YB. Can't trust everything you've seen on IG. This is why I'll never let him diss another nigga again. He's done. Just know if I diss you, I'd make sure that I hit you like I'm on your caller ID. I'm naming the album The Fall Off. It's pretty ironic because ain't no fall off from me. Still in this bitch getting bigger. They waiting on the kids to drop like a father to be. Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it Kodak? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league. But right now, this is when he start banging on his chest. But right now, I'm feeling like Muhammad Ali. Yo, stop it. No more tough talk from him. He could rap about daisies.
And that's all I'm saying. When I look at things retroactively, and then I look at the lyrics that he's put out recently, it don't match up. It don't match up. You are the Bronny James of rap. You don't got that dog in you. Jay-Z has protected you the whole way because you're the crown jewel of the rock. You've ducked every piece of meaningful smoke that's ever come your way. And I can't believe you, bro. I can't believe you. I cannot believe you. This is not like the snitches in Atlanta where, Gunna snitched and Spider snitched and all this person snitched and that person snitched. But if they just come out with dope music, we're going to rock with it. It's like, yeah, but no, because we know those cats really aren't like that. We know Young Thug ain't really like that. We've always known. We just kind of pushed it back in our subconscious. But you really sat up there like you were this lyrical assassin. And now we know you're as soft as cotton. This is just my personal opinion. I desperately need y'all to get in the comments. Is J. Cole a fraud? If J. Cole comes out on his new album, whenever it drops, and he's talking crazy, and he's talking about how he's this guy, are y'all going to rock with it? Knowing that he put out a whole diss track, and then he backtracked. And I know what y'all going to say. Oh, man, he didn't want to get in between a real beat. Nah, we're not trying to hear that. We not trying to hear that. I want to know how you guys feel. Am I way off? Or are y'all rocking with J. Cole if he comes out talking spicy? Let me know.